All right, it's been a little bit since I've done this live streaming thing. We'll see how it turns out. But cool. Thanks to anyone that's hopping in here. As the title says, I'm going to be modeling out a workbench in Fusion, and we're going to do it live. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. All right, got Fusion up here already. I did put in. I just saved it as mobile workbench. And that's usually the first thing that I do to get started. Sorry, I'm just making sure that this is going well, and it looks like it's on. Cool. Make sure I can see some of the chats that are coming through as well. Oh, hey, Dad. Yep, got that. Hey, Chip. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do, and this is the way that I start off every project, is that I'm going to go up to modify. Nope, not doing that one. And then we're going to go down to change parameters. And I have a few things. So this is actually Workbench building for a friend. And I've made this workbench before. It's the one that I currently have in my workshop downstairs. I just never filmed it. I have modeled out another workbench on SketchUp, but this time I'm going to do it in Fusion. And the reason why I want to do it in Fusion, I think, is probably the best reason, is that it's so good with just taking everything that you've built and laying it on the ground and giving you a full cut list. So, yeah, why don't we jump into that? So I know that the total, let's start off with some of like the broader dimensions for this thing. So the total length, I like for mine to be 6 feet. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add another one in for the total width, and that'll be 3 feet. And then the height, the total height, is going to be 36 inches as well. I think that's a standard size for workbenches. What else do we need to do? I want to add in some of the materials, so plywood thickness, and that's going to be 0.75. I also, so I'm going to make it out of 2x4s, but I want to trim them down. So I want to get rid of the rounded corners on them, and I'm going to send them through my planer as well. So shrink it down a little bit. And I also want to glue up 2 of them together and kind of create a square post. And I think the one that I have now is 2 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to do post and just leave it at that. Post dimension, I don't know. And that's going to be 2.75. So if you think about it, that's 1.5. Yeah, 2.75. I think that's what I'll do. Oh, change that. And then also I'm going to do a 2x thickness, which is going to be actually the post dimension divided by 2, because if we're going to have 2 of them, that's just what they'll be. And then the 2x width, that's going to be, let's call it 3 for now. And the best part about this is that we can change it later if it doesn't make sense. What else? There's going to be a bottom gap from where I'm going to put another frame. So I always like to add that in, and we'll call that 3.5. I think that's all we need to start. Hey, Taylor, how's it going? Press OK. And then, yeah, let's start off by doing a sketch. There's a few different ways. So I was building this one out in Shaper 3D, and I think I did like a sketch on the front plane, but I like to just start off on the bottom, so the top view. And I'm basically going to create one of the posts for the workbench and then mirror it around the whole thing. So I'm going to just start off there. Let me zoom out. And we're going to do a rectangle right at the origin and bring this out. So this is going to be total width and then total length. Press OK, just so we can see kind of where it's going to sit. Slide that down, slide that out. And press finish sketch. Oh no, I don't want to finish it just yet. Let's go back there. All right, I'm going to start off with one of the posts in this corner here. And I'm going to go in, do another rectangle, and then this is just going to be the post dimension by post dimension. Nice little square post there for the leg of the workbench. And then I think that's it for now. I'm going to make some adjustments to the sketch, but when we grab this face, I'm going to extrude it for the total height. I want the overall total height to be, oh yeah, we have to factor in the casters too. So the overall total height, let me add that in. So I always forget, because when this is going to be a mobile workbench and we need to add in the height for the casters to reflect, because I want the whole thing, casters, top, everything to come out to 36 inches. So we're going to do caster height. And I don't know, I think they're around like 4 inches or so. We can change that later. So now I'm going to take this post, I'm going to extrude it, and we're going to go up to the total height, but I'm going to minus plywood thickness, and I'm going to have double layers of plywood. So this is what I did on my other one. So I have 3/4 inch of whatever veneer plywood, and then the top was MDF, and then I put a little trim around it. So it's going to be 2 plywood thicknesses, really, because it's going to sit on top of that, thickness times 2. And then we're also going to minus the caster height of 4. Sketch always disappears, so let's open that back up. So let's see how long this is. It's 30 inches, 30.5 inches. Okay. So the way that I want to make this post is that have some dados in here. So I'm going to have like a frame that's going to go, like a stretcher or slat that's going to go this way, and then 2 longer ones. But I want to cut this post so they can rest inside of it. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about doing it. Worked for the one that I already built. So I'm going to create a sketch right on this face. So create a sketch, open it up, go here, and we're going to just start drawing out some rectangles. So from the bottom origin spot, I'm going to go up. And as long as it's snapping in right here, then I don't need to adjust it. So I'm going to change this other one. This is going to be the bottom gap. And then this is going to be the spot for where those plywood, the 2x4s are going to sit. So this is going to be the 2 by width. And then I can do the same thing for the top, but I'm just going to go down and snap in to 2 by width. And press finish sketch. So now I'm going to extrude it out. So I'm going to, or like cut into this piece that I've already made. Because this is going this way, we need to do minus. So I'm going to do minus 2 by thickness. And then should just cut it out. Looks good to me. And then I want to do it for the other side here too. So over here, and this one's going to be simple. So I'm going to just do another sketch. It's going to be on this side. And all we need to do is drag and make a little rectangle that fits in here. If it works. So it's not snapping to the other side. So maybe I'll just do, we know what that is, but this is going to be the 2 by width. And do the same up here. Oh, this one's easy. 2 by. Press OK. And then grab both of those faces again and extrude it. And then do negative 2 by thickness. All right, that should be one of the posts. It all makes sense in a little bit. So I'm going to just make sure that I have these bodies and components all set. So this is just going to be post, and I'm going to turn this into a new component. So it's right there. Hide the sketch. So next I want to mirror this. So I want 1 in this corner and then 2 over there, but I don't want to just duplicate it because then you have to like rotate everything. I don't know. So to do that, construct offset plane, and I'm going to select this plane that's right here. Oh, make sure that this is selected up here. Construct offset plane, select this, and then dragging this out. We want this to be right in the middle because it's just going to flip along and mirror it that way. So this is going to be the total width divided by 2. And I can do the same thing for going lengthwise. So construct offset plane, click this, and then go this way. Total length. If anyone's watching, can you just let me know if you can hear me all right? The microphone sounds okay. Divided by 2. All right. I'm going to select this component. We're going to go to create and then mirror and have this object selected. Select this one. And all right, cool. Thanks, Chip. And then press OK. So now we've got 2 on this side, and I just want to repeat the same process and do it on the other side. You know, it changes it to mirror. I wonder if I can just change it to post. Nice. Select both of these. Create, mirror, same thing. Send it on to the other side. All right, cool. So now we've got like kind of the basis of the 4 legs of this workbench. I'm also going to put 2 kind of like support beams in the middle, but we'll do those last because they'll just be separate and not mirroring or doing anything. So cool. With those all set, I like to take all of my posts and I'm going to just create another component, and this will just be like the master component. Drag those in there. So now I can just select all of them. Cool. All right, so the next one is that I want to add some of the frames in. This needs. No, guess not. So I'm going to add like a slat that's going to go along this side. It's going to go along the back, and then like 2 middle ones on either side. But I think I want the slat that's going to go from here to here to span the length of it, just because then I'll have more surface area to sit within this little dado. And then we're going to basically have the next one that's going to go up there too. So we're going to create some copies of that. So I'm going to go in here, and we can just create another sketch really on this side. And do that. And then R for rectangle. And the beauty about this one is that we can just snap it to those both edges. Finish sketch. Take that. Press E for extrude. And then because this arrow is going this way, we need to do minus 2 by thickness. And already set to new body, which is good. Press that. So it's not going to... Oh. See, this is always the problem I have in like managing components. So if you have this one selected, it's going to end up as a body within here, but we don't want that. We want it to be up here. So we'll call these the ones, the stretchers. I don't know, stretcher. All right. Make sure we're going up here and selected. Cool. So that is good. I think we'll take the same approach to the legs and just mirror this to the other side. And we'll do the same for the shorter ones as well. But actually the shorter ones, I want a couple to span in the middle. So we're going to do a rectangle pattern tool for that. But I like to just stop. Let's go up to modify, change parameters, and just make sure that everything is still working as it should. So if we just zoom out so we can see, slide this over here. And then let's say the total length, let's make this 7 feet. Cool. That works. 6 feet. Total width, let's change that to 4 feet. Nice. My God. 3. All right. And then, I don't know, let's change like the plywood width to be like 4. Nice. All right, so everything seems to work pretty well with the parameters. So let's go ahead and rename or take this stretcher. I'm going to turning it into a component. Press OK. Make sure that this is selected up here. Select that, and I'm just going to mirror it to make one for the other side as well. Is there a little shortcut for mirroring? No, maybe not. And then because we already have these construction planes already set, we can just use the one that we made earlier and press OK. So that looks pretty good. Okay. I guess we could just build out the bottom frame in its entirety and then just kind of take that entire thing and then move it up to the top because they're pretty much going to be symmetrical or the same. So first I want to create another like slat, stretcher, whatever you want to call it in here because that's what we need. Kind of the same process that we've done before. And then, you know what, I'll actually create a new component so I can just keep everything grouped together. So I'm going to put these two stretchers in there. Oh, maybe that doesn't work. There we go. And then with this one selected, I'm going to go this face, and we're going to create a new sketch. And then we're just going to draw another rectangle right in the middle. Press finish. And then select that. Actually, why don't I save this just in case? Press E for extrude. Again, going this way. And if you guys have ever used Shaper 3D, I've been testing it out recently. I actually love the way that they have their extrude focus because, for example, if I just type in, you know, like 2 by thickness, it's going to come out this way. You need to put the minus 2 by thickness, and then it goes the right direction. But with Shaper, you can select this, press extrude, and as long as you like whatever direction you start pulling it out to, it just automatically knows which direction, whether or not you put the minus sign in. It's a nice little feature that I thought was pretty nifty. Minus, and then we're going to make sure that this operation is set to new component and press OK. Let's name this slat. So I want 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way spanning across just to add some support for the plywood that's going to sit there, and the same for the top. So I'm going to select this slat, and what I've done before, so just mirroring it, just kind of, it makes the distance and spacing all perfect if you use the pattern and then rectangular pattern tool. So I'm going to select that, and then axis, make sure that we're going to select this one because we're going to bring it across this way. We want 4 of them, and the distance is going to be the negative total length. But if you see, if we go over here, we basically need to add in plus the 2 by thickness. That should bring it right to where we need it. Press enter and just double check. Looks good to me. All right, we probably don't need to see this sketch on the bottom anymore, so I'm going to hide that. And then I don't need to see these construction planes either. All right. So with all those slats, I'm going to select all of them that we just built out, and we're going to move them into frame just so we can select this whole thing and then just move it up. I got to figure out the best way to move it. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it, dude. Hope all is well. So I think we're just going to take this frame, press move. I'm going to test it out to make sure it doesn't adjust any of the parameters, but I just want to, maybe we can do like a point-to-point type of thing. So I want maybe this point right here. If anyone has a better idea of doing it, let me know. I always struggle with this part. So the first point, maybe we can grab this one, and then the target point will just be right here. And we'll make sure we create a copy. Looks good to me. And press OK. So now we have 1 frame, 2 frames. So now if I zoom out, let's go to change parameters and just make sure that didn't mess anything up. So if we make the total height 45, yeah, see, that doesn't work. That does not work. I think we might need to do the rectangle pattern tool. Let me just try that. It's probably the only way that I know how, is if we create that, and with the axis we're going to go up, slide it up. We only want 2 total, and this is going to be the negative total height plus bottom gap plus caster height plus the 2 by width times 2 maybe. I'm not entirely sure where it should be. Oh, we're not factoring in the caster height? Let me try again. Because it should start from there. And then just go up this way. Plus bottom gap. Missing another spot, because if we're going from that direction, I guess we could change the spacing. I guess it's only going up 24. Yeah, can you hear it? The keyboard, sorry if it's too loud. Just got done playing some World of Warcraft. I think 24 inches, but that doesn't seem right. I could just build another one up top. I'm at a loss. I'm like forgetting how I did this before, because I want to make sure that it adjusts and it snaps to... We could just move it, free move. I don't want to move. I want to create, I guess we could create like an offset plane that's going to go in the middle between these two. So I wonder if I create an offset plane starting here and it goes up 21 inches. Let's see if that works. Frame, mirror. I have a feeling it's not going to work. Yeah. We got to get that dimension to be referencing off something. I'm going to try one more thing, that pattern in rectangular pattern tool again. Sorry guys, I'm failing at this right now. Slide up. So basically it needs to go 24 inches, but what could that equal based upon what we've made already? So that would be 12. I know that this isn't the right way to do it, but I think it might work. Yeah. Why don't we just go with that? Because that seems to be working okay. All right. What next? I think I want to add in those middle slats. So basically I just want to have like another support, because this is fairly long, and in cases like I'd imagine that it's okay, but the fact that we can add in, like, instead of having 4 casters at the bottom of each one of these posts, we can have 6 total. I think it'll just make it a little bit more rigid, secure, and slide around the workshop a little bit easier. And also, if there's uneven floors, there's just more potential points of contact for the casters. All right, so on this side, I'm going to create another sketch on the front. And then I'm going to just grab, like, this is the way that I've done it before. I'm not sure if it's the right way, but I want to grab that middle point somehow. Because if we can do a center rectangle. Yeah, it's not going to work. This is a Shure MV7. I think it's like the cheaper podcast mic. I don't know. Seems to work out pretty well. I enjoy it. Sounds good for the voiceovers, my videos. I want to create basically a rectangle right in the middle, but I don't know how to grab it. So maybe if we just grab... Maybe if we take this rectangle and then see if we can do an another pattern and bring it out here, then I know it will be right in the middle. So this will be the total length and then minus 2 by width. Could be right in the middle there. Okay, we already have that. I guess we could just start. Start down here and we'll drag this out. So this one will be the total length minus 2 by width divided by 2. This is kind of how all my models go, just trying to figure stuff out. I think that might work. So then if we put it out like that, will it be even? It looks, so let's check the dimension over here. So from this side to this side is 34.75. Yeah, it's slightly off. Slightly off. I'm going to make the total length divided by 2. So I know that that will be right in the middle. And then from there, I can draw a rectangle that's going to be right in the middle of this line and go up. I think that's the way to do it. This will be post dimension. Yeah, I have not. Construction lines and construction constraints are your friend. I've still trying to figure out how to do that. I've played around with the construction lines in Shaper 3D, but like when it comes to like figuring out some of this stuff, yeah, I gotta learn. But that's very helpful. Thank you. I think if we go back to the sketch, and now because I want to not have this entire spot cut out, so maybe if I go like this, press finish. Basically, I want to create like in here, not that, right in here, and extrude that out, minus post. This is what it did before. I'm going to do new body. So it's like slightly kind of what I need. I think there's definitely a better way to do this. So if I go to the top of this, I'm going to create a sketch right up here and then put this right there because I just want to extrude that up a little bit. And I know that will join it. This will be the 2 by width. And press OK. What just happened? What in the world? Single view. There we go. All right, and then, so these are two separate bodies, but I want to connect them. So I think it's just as easy as doing the same thing we did before, but creating a sketch in here. Let's finish, and then we'll grab this, extrude it. Maybe if I just extrude it to that face, so we could do profile plane, we'll go to object, and we'll select that. Extrude up. Let's make the 2 by width. Join it. Okay. It's made. I don't know if it's going to break the parameters, but that looks somewhat along the lines of what I wanted to make. So if I do change parameters, let's try changing the total height. Yeah, see, I broke something. I'll figure that one out later. But for the most part, I think I know what the dimensions are for the parameters, and there's really not any dire need to change this later because I know that it's going to look like this. So it's just a matter of like kind of building it out from reference, because all I'm really doing to design it out is just trying to figure out how much wood will I need to buy to build this thing, and kind of just creating a rough cut list for the miter saw when I go to build it too. So with that, this is going to be called the middle post. And then we're going to create a new component from that. And then, hi Sheila, how's it going? And then go back here. And then I'm going to select that middle post, turn on the construction planes again, and we're going to do the same thing, just mirror it. Offset plane right there, and then press OK. All right, so I think it should work if we extend it out. Like, I'm kind of hung up on the fact that the parameters are broken because I don't know the best way to go about doing it. But if we just do, let's say if we do 7 feet, yeah, so the length works out pretty well. It's just the height because of the way that I created the sketch down here for that middle post. Let's see if we do width. Yeah, so the width works out too. All right. I mean, that's pretty much the foundation for this thing. I'm going to add, let's hide these construction planes. And then I want to add some trim. I guess I can take these posts and just throw it in post as well. And then I want to add the plywood first, and then I want to add a little bit of trim at the top just to kind of protect those edges from being the top of the workbench. I'm going to hide this frame right here first, and let's create plywood that's going to sit on that bottom shelf. So creating a new sketch, just select the top of that frame right there. I'm going to draw out a rectangle that spans all of it. And then I'm just going to kind of go into each one of these corners and then draw out the spots for those posts because we're going to cut the plywood so it fits in nicely. Press finish. And then we should just be able to select all of that. Hold shift, grab this other one right here, extrude it up, plywood thickness, make sure it's set to new body, press OK. And then top. Or this is like bottom shelf top. Create a component from this. Go back here, and then I'm just going to create a new component that's just plywood or sheet goods rather, and then throw this in there. Just I like to have everything organized for when it comes to making the cut list. So yeah, we'll see. Cool. Let's bring that frame back up so we can see it. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the top. But it's going to be a double layer. So create a sketch up here. Press R for rectangle. Just finish. Grab this. And extrude it up. Plywood thickness, new body. Press OK. This will be apply top. A new component. Throw that in there. And then really just another sketch right on top of that. I'm sure there's a better way. I probably could duplicate it, but I'm just going to do this way so it doesn't break it. Press finish. Grab the sketch, extrude, plywood thickness, and I'll just call it new component. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it's in here. Yeah. MDF top. Let's bring this way so it's kind of separating. All right. That's it, really, for the workbench. We could add some casters and change the appearance up a little bit. Let's change the appearance first. So because we have all of these kind of organized the way that we need them, so I know that all of those are going to be 2x4 appearances. Same with the frame. The plywood top we'll have to adjust. But if we go into the posts, I like to press A to open up the appearance window. I do have some that I've saved already that I put in favorites. It's ultimately just construction lumber and CDX plywood surfaces. You can go online and figure out and download a whole bunch of different appearances and textures for Fusion. So I'm going to just grab this construction lumber one and drag it on the posts. The one thing that you can see is that the grain is going sideways, which it should be going up and down. So quick fix for that. Just select one of these. Oop. Close. I'm going to close this. And then we can do texture map controls. I'm going to select all of them. Oops. So hold shift. And then I change it to planar. And then pick the axis is going up. And then press OK. And then it's easily just adjusts the texture so it moves up and it looks better. So the frame is going to be going horizontal, so that would be pretty easy. So I'm just going to press A to open up the appearance, construction lumber, add it to the frame, add this to the frame as well. And then, yeah, same thing for the plywood. I'll just grab plywood. That's it. Oh, we do need to add the trim. I almost forgot. Easy way to do this. We'll create another sketch that's on the top here. I'm going to draw a rectangle out. And then selecting that rectangle, like double click that, go to offset. And we're just sliding this out 0.75. We could get fancy with the trim and do some mitered corners. So I'm just press L to create for the line tool and then just connect that corner to that one. And then do that at all 4 corners. And finish that sketch. Now if we zoom in, I'm going to select one at a time, because if you try to connect both of them, they're going to join them. So one on one side, the other on this side. Zoom out, and we're going to extrude it down. And I don't know, we'll call it, I guess, plywood thickness, negative plywood thickness times 2, just to cover them up for now. And then where did those live? They ended up in plywood. So I want to put those bodies. So I didn't change it to new body, and I did join. So I just go here, new body, and press OK. So now I have that, and that. take these two pieces of trim. I'm just going to move them back up here. Open up that sketch. And we can just zoom in here to the other one and do the same thing. Extrude, negative plywood thickness times 2. And make sure that's set to new body and press OK. And then just name these trim. Copy that to the other ones. Select all of them. That one does not want to be. There we go. Select all of them, turn them into a component, and then add a new master component for trim. And select all of those and put them in there. Cool. And then we can add like let's add like a nice appearance to the trim. See what Fusion has. Solid wood, finished. Why don't we use some glossy maple? Then select that and add that on. Look at that. Looks beautiful. Cool. What a nice looking workbench. Oh, what we can also do is add some casters in if we want to try doing that. I never know like the best way. So what I do is I go to insert and then insert McMaster car component, and it opens up this window, and then you can just like search for casters. I never know because the ones that they have in here don't always match up with the ones that I buy from Amazon. So like the overall height of them are usually a little off, but I think you can just choose this Cart Smart caster with some wheels, swivel with a brake, and then it doesn't really matter. Go in here. So diameter, it's probably going to be like 4. Mount height is 5 inches without bearing. We download it to, I think it's a step format. Download. And then, yeah, it just kind of puts it down here. Then we can replicate it. So I'm going to spin it this way. I'm going to bring it down just so I can see. And then, yeah, because look at that plate. That plate is huge compared to the ones that I would be getting. And then I can just kind of go from point to point. I don't know, this point to target point right there. Press OK. Obviously, that is not the right caster. Looks a little big. Actually, that might be right. It looks a little wide. I think on the workbench that I made downstairs, I had another blocking that I attached to the bottom just to allow for a little bit more, because it's 2.75 inches square for this. But that's, I would just get some a little smaller and then add a blocking. That should be good. I might have to do the same when it comes to these ones in the middle, because the workbench that I made, I didn't have a spot for a caster that was going to be in the middle. I made it so it just kind of stopped right here, and it didn't have this bottom block. And the only reason why is just I wanted to make sure that these kind of stretchers stayed nice and level. So I'm just going to delete that for now because it looks ridiculous. All right, that's a workbench, really. That's pretty much it. So I think the next thing is I want to make sure, get a quick little cut list. And I'll show you guys this tool, cut list optimizer, that I use. It's pretty nifty. But I go to Mapboards Pro. Might need an update. Mapboard. Oh, I have to restart Fusion. Yeah, let me just do that real quick. You guys can look at me while I restart Fusion. So how you guys doing? Anyone still there? Anyone, how's your day going? While I open up Fusion. I haven't gone live in a while. A little rusty. All right, now it's coming back online. A little slow to load. Got a lot of things going on right now. And then mobile workbench. All right, cool. We're back in. Now, if I go to Mapboard Pro, it should automatically just take everything that we've built and then know to cut it out. So it's separating the material, which is nice. All right, for example, and then also like for the construction lumber being 2.75, you know, another way that I could have done it. And so instead of it having a post that was 2.75, I could have just made two 2x4s kind of like against each other at 1.375. And then that way that would group these two up, and then it could give us the full cut list. So then I would know to cut it, because now it's just going to drop like a post right on there. And then you have to kind of figure out where it's attached to. And then this 3D maple glossy, I'll probably use some like poplar for that. So that works out pretty well. I think the width for that board, I don't know, we can call it like 6 inches or so. 6 or 8. That is good. 3.5. The length for all of these, I don't know, let's make it 8 feet. It's actually going to be 120. I have 10-foot boards ready to go. And I'm not sure about this one, but I'd imagine it's 8 feet long. So that's it. Cool. I don't need much for this workbench. You do need more than, so it'd probably be like, yeah, so you would need double that. But yeah, pretty standard workbench. It's the one that I've got downstairs. Seems to work out pretty well. And then it gives you the flexibility to really do whatever you want on the inside here. So I made something similar at my last shop back in Massachusetts, and I added in like, you know, like a plywood panel on this side. I added a really cool thing that I thought I might do it again for this one, but kind of a dowel all the way across, and then you have like that, you know, heavy duty construction paper, the ones that you typically see people laying down for painting, which makes things awesome for just like rolling it up over the workbench in case you're painting something or gluing something up. It's just an easy way to keep everything nice and clean. And then the other side kind of had like a little cubby for some glue bottles. I think I did also build in some cabinets in my last one, but the weight was getting a little too heavy for the casters that I had. But I think then this one would work out well because it does have like 6 different points of contact and posts to kind of keep the weight nice and good. So that's a workbench. I'm going to try. It's funny because I was doing more with the YouTube channel, obviously. And I wanted to make a video where I would model something out like this, and then the next video would be to build it. And what I'm noticing now is that I don't really have the best way to kind of create those Fusion walkthrough videos. It's because a lot of people come to my channel to see some of the builds. The other ones are coming for Fusion, and I don't know. I haven't figured out the best way. So maybe I'll do lives like this. Still just trying to kind of figure out where I want my channel to be. I really want it to be more consistent. And I think if I'm doing build projects and then doing Fusion walkthrough videos, it's a little inconsistent because some people might come to watch one over the other. I don't know. I'm just trying to have fun over here and do what I like doing. Building stuff out, modeling stuff on the computer. So yeah. So yeah, if you guys are still around, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. And hopefully this was helpful. And I'll see you guys later.